Nice. Welcome to the Surf Quest vlogcast. We're on the air with the Mustache Banditos. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, beginning with Aaron. Tell us a little about yourself.
Hey Brian, nice to be here with you. My name's Aaron, shaper and owner of Elevated Surfcraft, and I'm down here in Santiago, Chile with my best friend, Alex Petrogiani.
I'm Aaron's best friend, as he just said, and I bring the yoga to the consciousness and the ride, and I'm just so honored and proud to be here in South America for the first time riding these Andean mountains with my best friend. And again, Cosmic Bandito style, from the earth to the heavens and everything in between. It's been absolutely magical here.
This is kind of elevated, I would say. Alex, tell us a little bit about the Southern Hemisphere. It's a winter there. Why is that?
Well, being in the Southern Hemisphere, we're in the upside down. It's like Stranger Things. And so not only are we in the upside down, we're also in a different season. So, our December is the equivalent of what we're experiencing here in summer. The difference and the change going from summer to winter and experiencing this endless winter. And it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So, Aaron, how'd you get onto this? What made you decide to pull the trigger on the project? Why don't you walk us through from conception to pulling the trigger and to going, right?
I mean, it kind of just came as a dream, right? You kind of keep hearing that winter is ever present, depending on where you are on the world. And as we're always looking for the snow, I think I had enough summertime heat and flip-flops at the beach, and just got this little chirping word that the snow was starting to fall down here in the Andes. The world has opened back up after the pandemic, so it became available again. And we didn't really know much, but our social media director, Trini, lives down here in Santiago and was able to help us with some arrangements and figuring out what to do, where to go, how to do it. They speak Spanish primarily down here, so that was a language barrier to kind of figure out. And we just kind of decided to send it. And if I was going to come down here, I wanted to come down with my best friend. We didn't really need a big team or a lot of media or stuff, because we didn't really have a solid plan. So we just hopped a couple flights, prayed that the snow would be falling, and happened to end up here just in time.
So I got your Instagram up, and you've been kind of posting the adventures as you've gone along. Here's the page where you're kind of talking about the adventure, right? So the last time you guys together were, it says here, in Japan. So it's been a while, huh?
Yeah, COVID really brought us into a separation. Being the Canadian of the Elevated Surfcraft group, we had a pretty strict quarantine. And so this is the first time I've internationally traveled for 3 years. And it's, again, the greatest choice to make. Bandito style, come down to South America and be part of the Andean mountains and receive the beautiful energy of the people here in South America. It's been wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about the terrain and where you went geographically. So how do you get from here to there?
So Santiago is this kind of sprawl city in the valley that's pretty high, probably about, I think it's almost 2,000 feet, but it's surrounded by these giant mountains that just jack up. So from the city, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, you can kind of go up a few of these different canyons, and then these super crazy switchback roads that take you up to about 9, 10, 12,000 feet. So our first adventure was up to Valle Nevado, which was kind of just straight out of Santiago. We had to leave at about 5:30 in the morning and land at the mountain before they even opened at 9 a.m.
Oh, nice. And then the weather was good, right? You got some snow?
Yeah, so the storm cycles we've noticed here kind of come in about a day or two, just kind of womp into the mountains. Windy, overcast, fog, gray out, like just can't see anything. And then by the next day, it is bluebird and sunny. and we had kind of 2 back-to-back storms, followed by 2 bluebird and probably 1.5 foot deep days. Yeah, so what you're seeing here is kind of our day 1 driving up to Valle Nevado, and the snow conditions that we just arrived at. It was just a guess. We just had booked our tickets, and to be able to land in this massive open terrain with really nobody there and ride fresh POW all day in the middle of August kind of blew our minds.
Yeah, it's like it just happened, and worked out perfect. That's great.
Bryan, I think Aaron has a little bit of a spider sense when it comes to powder, a kind of innate gift for picking the right windows of time. Being on the adventure with him for over 16 years, he always seems to pull it off just magically. So there's some kind of method to his madness when it comes to searching for powder. And of course, takes the engineer of surf crafts to be able to have that innate gift.
Yeah, the spider sense. I like that. It's pretty good. I guess that's the resort. Looks like it's freaking buried, huh?
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool system. They have a couple hotels built right on top of the mountain. So you go up and you stay for 2, 3, 4 days, and it's pretty much ski in, ski out. And really only the people who are staying there are the people riding on the mountain. There are day people coming up and down, but it's kind of most conducive. Everything you could need from your breakfast to the spa, to these great rooms with balconies overlooking the entire mountain, and you just are there.
And had you been on a Poma lift before? I ride them. I used to ride them when I learned to snowboard, 20 years ago.
The
It's kind
Poma
of
lift had a
challenging,
little,
right?
yeah, the Poma lift had a little bit of horsepower. So this one, it kind of kicks you. You first have to cradle it between your legs, really hold it, and then they're like 3, 2, 1, and it just shoots you like a rocket. So me and Aaron felt like we were Mario Luigi, a little firepower between our legs, just woohoo!
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember, you had to ride up kind of sideways and then swing the bar around. You keep the board moving. I liked it because it was good cardio, right? Because it's work getting up the hill, right?
It's like a thigh master, Bryan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're kind of interesting because they're all over the mountain. But it really gives access to all of these different zones without having to do the full infrastructure of a lift. And it also kind of keeps the number of people in each of those areas to a limited. So this particular lift we found, I don't know, about 2:30 on the first day we were there. And we just milked the little terrain next to it, probably 8 or 9 runs, all to ourselves. And it was just empty. It was just like a little private resort for us amongst, there were maybe 20 of these around the mountain.
Yeah.
So we had just that pitch all to ourselves for 10 runs.
Nice.
Yeah.
What boards were you riding?
See, I was on the Goldfish and Alex was on the Whiskey Jack.
And how do those particular boards match up for the terrain? Woo!
I think they were great because, again, they're big tapered shapes. A lot of the terrain we were on was pretty low, medium angle, so having a lot of extra float. Also with a little bit of camber to play the variable conditions, but again, it was a very supportive base with a light, fluffy powder on top. But we were able to work some extra further zones all to ourselves because we just had that little bit of advantage in our equipment.
Tell me about one of your favorite video clips.
Probably one of my favorite video clips was a very, very simple clip that we shot on the Insta360 with the 10-foot pole. It kind of has a drone effect to it. And on that day, I took out the 510 log. A lot of Valle Nevado is very low to medium angle, which kind of means that most people on traditional equipment can't actually make it to most of the terrain and powder zones. But on some of our specialty boards, we were able to gobble it up, no problem. So there's a clip of me riding with the hotels and the resorts in the background, just cruising about 5 feet off of the groomer piste, where there was completely fresh powder. No one had gone there, and that was probably about 11:30 in the morning.
Right. Yeah. So the equipment matches the terrain is a win-win for everybody, right?
Absolutely. And out of any resort I've pretty much ever ridden around the world, I was very impressed by the Valle Nevado style of terrain, amount of people or lack of people, and the openness of the possibilities. Just kept milking,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. We just kind of kept kept going back, because why not?
Yeah. Right. So tell me about the surf vibe. Yeah, I guess the folks at the resort maybe weren't clued into this whole concept, right? What were some of the reactions you got?
Actually, it's very interesting here, because from the mountains to the city to the ocean is all kind of 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. And there's a lot of coastline here, and there's a lot of mountain stuff here. The mountain surf idea made a lot of sense to people. And we really came across a lot of very open-minded and interested snowboarders who saw what we were doing, and they were just stoked. Probably more than I've actually seen anywhere in the world. Every single snowboarder we came across really understood what our designs were for, how they worked, what we were up to. And, a couple stickers go a long way to build the big following down here. And by the end of day one, we had 100 people hitting us up, trying to get boards from us. So it was kind of amazing.
Right. You said your social media director lives there, right? So tell us about that connection.
Yeah, so she was working in Mammoth as a J1 up at the mountain. And I think kind of during the pandemic, she made her way back to Chile, and we've been working remotely. But yeah, she's down here working with a couple other brands as well that are very progressive in development in the surf lifestyle area. So she really gets it, but she's also very connected to a lot of people who just love this vibe. And it turns out there's really a lot of those kind of people out here.
Dude, look at this. Tell me about this wave. What's going on? Low angle, huh?
4 o'clock in the afternoon, last run of the day, riding back to the hotel, fresh lines.
Woo, look at those smiles. Man,
Yeah,
that's epic. All right, so we're going to take a short break and reset, and we'll start another meeting if that's okay.
sounds great, Bryan.
Sounds great, Bryan.
All right, thank you.